This is Unit 7, Week 1, question number 7, Part 2, or Part B. What's the Alien and Sedition Acts? In time of war, Americans always give up personal freedoms. The Alien and Sedition Acts during when we feared the French in the middle of a quasi-war in the late 1700s. Today, the Patriot Act when we're concerned about freedoms or issues with terrorism overseas. The Alien and Sedition Act made it an illegal, first it gave the government increased powers to arrest people if they were perceived as anti-war or threatening, and it gave the government increased right to supervise correspondence. It was really intended to allow the government to ferret out anyone that's opposing the war. The Espionage Act made it a crime to aid enemy nations or interfere with the recruitment of soldiers. And the Postmaster General could censor mail to make sure no one was sending anything that might interfere with a war effort. The Sedition Act cracked down on expressions of opinion. Specifically, up to 20 years, people could be imprisoned up to 20 years for criticizing the government, the war effort, or even the flag in any particular way. A lot of folks became much more conservative politically. Pro-labor groups, the socialists, were looked down upon for having opposed this war. Eugene V. Debs, as a socialist, spoke out against the war, was put in prison. He's later going to get 1 million presidential votes while in prison. But eventually both of these come up before the courts. And the courts hear the Sedition Act in Schenck versus the United States in 1919. The Schenck versus the United States says that, yes, the Sedition Act is legal, but it limits when the government can interfere. And it says the government can only interfere with free speech if it represents a clear and present danger. And so it upheld the law, but it narrowed it. But the basic gist of this is Americans gave up a lot of freedoms and rights during the war effort as part of the goal of keeping America on track pro-war. And that's it from some guy in an Aloha print.